Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela. Hope you can hear me okay today. How's the week been? As you can see, I had my hair cut. It's not a Mandela. It's strangely straight right now, so I don't know what's up. She put some of her magic potions in there, whatever it is, and that might be why. I'll have to, once I wash my hair and wash all the goop out, then I'll figure out how it really looks. Weather has been great. It's almost spring-like. It's been about 5 or 6 years since it's been cold for Thanksgiving. I mean, one year it was like 98 out. You ever kind of notice that, like, when a new thing shows up, a lot of times it comes in with like a big bang. So it used to be for me that Thanksgiving was always cold. Like, I used to actually put out the lights the day after Thanksgiving, and every year I'd be like freezing my fingers off. But you can't wear gloves when you're putting up little fidgety bits, right? But then, it was like 5 or 6 years ago, suddenly it was hotter than Hades, and it's actually been fairly warm every year since then, although not like 98. Like, I'm not like out here. I didn't have to put on the air conditioner. I had actually a Thanksgiving dinner organized at my house that year. I had to put on the air conditioner for them, so that was crazy. Vivi and I have one of yours on today. I hope Shari's here because there's that weird stuff about the Hodge. Shari, I don't see her in here. That's gonna suck if she doesn't come. I'm just really curious whenever we're doing stuff like that if she remembers it. Okay. Well, I looked up your eyeball planets because, the name itself is pretty catchy. Now, I've heard of tidally locked planets, but I've never heard of them starting to look like eyeballs, hot eyeballs and icy eyeballs. The planet that's tidally locked to its star is likely to look very different on its day side and night side. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's eyeball planets back from... these are artist depictions. I think I started it over here. And then you were saying one of them is the most likely to have liquid water. And this is a artist depiction. A promising super Earth. I think they were already saying, though, that there's probably liquid water, like, underneath Mars or something now. I think we already had liquid water, but it's just not on the surface. They keep moving the Overton window. Like, there's no water. Oh, there's no liquid water, but there's ice water. Well, there's liquid water, but it's not on the surface. Well, there's... What's the next one? There's liquid water, but it's not pure. That'd probably be the next one. Like, we don't know if we call it water because it has other stuff in it. That might be the next shift on that. It's water, but can you drink it? That would be another one. So potable water might be the next shift. How do they know? I don't know. Say it's all cartoons and stuff, but if you look up in the sky, there's some crap up there. There's the moon. Whatever it does up there, it has changed as part of the Mandela. The stars have changed. Whatever them sparkly things are up there. That round, glowy, moon-looking thing has changed. When it shows up has changed. How it shifts, its shape has changed. Now it spins around, or appears to. Of course, the story is not that, but it looks like it. It's not water, it's acid. It's tomato soup. The synchronicities. The synchronicities today. I don't know. The disco balls. There was like disco ball earrings on like a day or two ago, and so I was just totally laughing about that. And then I just read this thing from Jackie about man parts, and that's going to be in the show, and she doesn't know. and didn't know. And then the soup thing, somebody was just asking me if I had a soup maker, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I guess in the UK they have this, like, I don't know, a carafe. I don't know, you plug it in, it's called a soup maker. So, like, here, it's a soup maker is a pot on the stove. That's how we make soup. We don't have a special soup maker. Or maybe you use a crock pot. But, anyway, so it's I'm just kind of laughing because with the tomato soup, it's like, reminds me of the soup maker, which I was discussing just hours ago. Yeah, so, yeah, it is, it's Thanksgiving here. For 18 minutes, it's been Thanksgiving. I'm not gonna, I just refuse to get sucked into the guilt-mongering narratives about Thanksgiving. Because it's so tricky, because if you look in historically, like, every group has done bad things. So if you look at the natives, they have killed other tribes and stolen their lands. And now a big fat white tribe killed a bunch of their tribe and stole their lands. But it's not like they didn't do the same thing. So I'm not condoning that behavior, but I also don't think that there's anything special about who's been doing it and when, because everybody's been doing it. Every group has done it. And yeah, there's a narrative brewing that there may have been another race before the Native Americans that they killed off. I wouldn't be exactly shocked if that came out, because a lot of the narratives about, like, the Black Hills is sacred to one tribe, but now the storyline is that that tribe had actually stolen it from another tribe. They came in from another area, there was a giant war, and they won, and then they got the Black Hills. So then, in my old timeline, natives did not have slaves, but in this timeline, they had both black and other Indian slaves or Native American slaves. So the narrative is, like, degenerating for everybody. It's not just, certain races. There's a new storyline that the moon is older than they originally thought. I can't really keep up with those things, because then you have to remember what they originally thought. And it also seems like it's like somebody writes a thesis and then it's a paper, and then next week somebody else writes a thesis and that says the opposite thing. So at least there got to be some kind of consensus theoretically, and that's getting harder to even sort out because the internet is full of baloney and crap now. Some of this stuff is purely just made up by AI and clickbaiters. They'll say so Charlie Kirk was a big story, so they'll just make up some stuff about Charlie Kirk with no evidence at all, and they'll just claim it, and then it'll go viral, and then you'll find out that it's just some dude who says, and they did this and they did that, and there is no evidence whatsoever, any of it. And then when you check their videos, their past videos, it's all the same crap, no evidence. They're just imagining stuff. Milli Vanilli. You gotta wonder, Milli Vanilli. For people who don't know, Milli Vanilli, it was like they won some kind of award for a song. It's actually a little fuzzy in my head. And then it turned out that that they basically had one group that sang it, and then another group that would just lip sync and dance and look hot, look cool, whatever, look good. And so the dancing ones were accepting the award like they did the song, but it turns out that they did not write nor sing the song. So of course there was a big stink about that when it was discovered that they did not sing the song. So it's pretty standard for these groups to just lip sync at a lot of live events, so they wouldn't have had to have done that very much anyway. But now I look back on that, I'm like, I don't know. It just seems like some kind of parable for the whole world nowadays. I mean, they pretty much all do. They're not supposed to so much in concerts, but I think a lot of them do. Because now they have that voice modulation thing. So even if your voice is not that really good, the voice modulation can fix it. I don't know. Did they have live voice modulation? Maybe they could still sing into it and have the mic do the modulation. Auto-tune, that's the thing. Yeah. AI music, yeah. It's coming. I mean, there's already songs that are pretty decent from AI. You can go and have AI and just say, I want a new agey theme with lyrics about billy goats. And it'll write up a thing for you. And it'll be a little bland and maybe a little generic, but it won't be bad. And if you're making like a YouTube video and you just need some background music and you're not like Disney Productions with $10 million, it's really quite good. I mean, it's better than you'd ever scrape together. And there's no copyright on those. You get to own it. That version that the AI just barfed up for you. So I wouldn't want to be in music right now. I mean, make your money while you can in that field, because I think it's going to die. Because AI is going to make hot-looking singer, Milli Vanilli dancers, and AI can make the music, and a couple years it's probably going to be pretty good. It's not like most of the songs now aren't very good, so... All right, so we did Eyeball Planets. So I'm still behind on the comments. Sorry. It's just been all crazy. It's just my crazy season, and it'll probably be bad through like December 15th, so it might be a few more weeks. This thing. Who came up with this one? Jackie. So there's like these metallic, ridiculous looking bugs are popping up all over. So there's this one that's like gold and purple magenta or whatever this color is, and the females are gold. That's the female, and then these are the males, and it's like ridiculous. So they're literally like iridescent metallic. There's the female. I was thinking of having those on for the thumbnail, but I didn't. Now, they are small, but there's also, I guess, you know, the story for these was weird because they're like, oh, well, we just thought it was some other one, like another jumping spider. I'm like, but there's none that look like this that I can find right now. So how could you not think this was special? But maybe that's going to change. Maybe we're going to get 1 million of these. Because I looked at the other jumping spiders, and they're not like iridescent, shiny gold film things. So... maybe they will be, and that story will make more sense. Okay, so speaking of this one, so Jackie was saying she saw something about like a head discovered at I think it was Göbekli, no, it was Karahan Tepe. Okay, so if you've heard of Göbekli Tepe, but now there's another one called Karahan Tepe, and that one has been excavated since 2019, and it's a lot like Göbekli Tepe. And they found all this stuff, and I've literally never heard of this thing. And so Jackie had this vague like statement, like head found or something, like human, and I found that, but I think this also was there. So there's now like more than one. And this supposedly... okay, so this guy obviously has man parts out, okay? I don't know why that one particular part has to be whiter than the sand. I'm like, is this even real? But there's an interesting, like... I'll just roll it. I don't know how whiny the algorithms are these days, but there. So there's a certain look to these where they get the like arms down on the side. This one has, they're calling them ribs, But it's weird because they're really like hash marks and they go up onto the arms. You know, so then yeah, I guess you could just write it off and saying they sucked at depictions of humans, or they scraped them on later, or but the thing is that if you look at other stuff from there, it's okay, so this is Karahan Tepe excavation. So it has those like pillar things, and then that was like on Göbekli Tepe. When it first showed up, Göbekli, it just had some pillar things in one spot. And that was like I was sort of like, what's the big deal? But I had never heard of Göbekli Tepe until about 5 or 6 years ago. I wonder what's going on that thing, huh? So now there's like way bigger one. Oval-shaped monument structures, 28 meters in diameter, surrounded with T-shaped limestone pillars. Okay, so I guess that's the T-shaped limestone pillars. One excavation at Karahan Tepe uncovered a T-shaped pillar with a human face, representing the first known depiction of a human face on such a pillar. Okay, that's interesting because Jackie's thing was the first, like, it said something more like the oldest depiction of a human face, or the first known depiction of a human face, but here it's suddenly become on such a pillar. And that one, that one was not this one, which also was found there, which seems to be more striking to me. Okay, so then this was the thumbnail. So now I guess we have a bunch of these. There's the, okay, those are the pillars at Karahan Tepe. We saw those from above a second ago. Then there's this thing. It's called the Sayburk panel. Okay, you can see it's pretty much the same thing. A big head. Doing, you know what, and then there's the scraping marks, like here, okay, like V shape or something. All right, and then there's this guy, which is Urfa Man. So if you look that up, that was like the, what was it, the oldest depiction of a full human or something. And they call these the eye idols. I've never heard of the eye idols. Have you heard of the eye idols? Urfa Man and Göbekli Tepe. I don't know why I can never say the Göbekli Tepe's humanoid pillars. I don't remember any humanoid pillars in Göbekli Tepe. It was just like animals and stuff. An unexpected archaeological precursor between Neolithic mindsets and the birth of Sumerian and Egyptian civilizations discerned Urfa Man as inferior to Göbekli Tepe's humanoid T-shapes, but ministered to them. The Urfa Man and the T-shapes might relate can be seen in the double V-shaped neck design. So there's like this V shape. So here, V and a V, okay? That's Urfa Man. Urfa. I am quite positive I have never heard of the word Urfa Man. Because that, and it looks like what? It looks like a, it looks like a tacky 60s alien. Does it not? Does this not look like a tacky 60s alien? They be wearing white, and except for he's a little busy right there. But, although it is not as clear here because here he looks like he's grabbing two separate things. And that would be more like, I don't know, not the thing the other guys were grabbing, okay? Yeah, it does look like there's one here and one there, actually, now that I'm looking. Yeah, he's grabbing two separate ones. So either he's got two, or that's something else, okay? Apparently these were all found in kind of a similar area. That's Urfa Man. Let's see. And other statues of men holding their you-know-what, was a fertility theme in the Taz Tepelair culture. Have you ever seen any of these? So this was all like, these aren't new. Maybe an early form of a Shiva lingam of Vedic tradition. See, I remember like this kind of thing with some animals and stuff. That was what was on Göbekli Tepe before. But now there's the this Urfa man has really got me. Okay, so yeah, there's this big V shape here. This one has a V shape, and this guy has like a big V like bone structure or something there, and then the scratchies. Now, do these look similar to anything that you have seen that has recently changed to look more like these? Well, recently meaning over the last 5 or 6 or 8 years. Yeah, more like 8 or 9 years. Does it remind you of anything we've covered? Oh yeah, 5 fingers. That's a good point. Let me check that. I think they did say on one that one of them had 6 fingers. It's not even that recent. Like some of these are from 5, 6, 7 years old. I mean, I checked this a couple months ago and there were none of these Urfa man and stuff. And when we get to it, I'll show you Göbekli Tepe is different now than the last time. At least I looked at it. Because this is Karahan Tepe. All right, let's see how many freaking fingers are on there. Yeah. Can we make? I can't make it big enough. Maybe this one. Is this one big enough? Oh. Why is it so tiny? I think it's new. It does not want to show itself. All right, let's try this. Visit. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, unless they're going like this, which some of them do, like this one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but that little one could be a thumb. That little one here does not look like a thumb. So what? Well, you know, so one of the things I notice about these, they all have this extra big head and like a fat neck compared to the body. So then they have this, I don't know, like, are they humans? I kind of have to wonder about that, because if they're not humans, then having like a super thin, weird, creepy finger, thumb, like not have a thumb and just have these would make more sense. I thought that was just a weird noise in here. Okay. This distracted me. The weird noise. Was that the weird shape? I think that, oh, that's a different one. That isn't even the one I was looking at before. The world's oldest observatory. See, so Karahan Tepe is supposed to be the world's oldest observatory. Have you ever heard of anything like that? So there's this thing. Does that look human? I don't know. I kind of just found out about this a couple hours ago, so I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay, I remember this lizard thing, but I don't remember that. Is that even really? I'm trying to figure out if that's AI or not. I don't think so, but interesting. Okay, so I don't think I remember these purses on here either. I think this is, yeah, it's still Göbekli Tepe. See, there's been this conspiracy theory about these purses. And see, there's like crow people in here. I swear, it looks like there's a crow head. So one of the things that I questioned about writing off the low quality proportions on those humans is that they actually get the proportions pretty good on stuff like these crows and these lizards and things. So you have to wonder why they could do it for them, but they were too stupid to do it for humans. It does ask a question. New discovery at Karahan Tepe. Go edit. I think that was the weird face thing that was actually the one that Jackie might have found. It looks like a cone head, which is interesting. You want the face here and then like, so if you had here to here and then from the top of the eye to the chin is like that much higher if you went by proportions, shall we say. Oh, what the heck is this one? Oh. Highlights from Taz Tepler project. That's another one. So what is that? That does not look like ribs. I'm sorry. That just... I mean, they must have seen like dead people and stuff. I just don't see how that's ribs. Not human ribs anyway. So that's another one from these Taz Tepler. So all that whole area now is Taz Tepler, I guess. Or that whole... So they're basically saying that this general fertility symbol of these dudes grabbing something are all from the same original source, like religious source or spiritual source or something. Okay, we already looked at this one. So what do they look like? What do those go? These fingers, especially. Yoink. Let me see if I can get there. All right, so here is another source of the weird, creepy fingers. But this is the Moai in Easter Island. I've been talking for a while that these fingers were showing up. And I feel like there's a lot of commonalities in this thing because you basically kind of have the same shape. You got the same finger grab thing. So some time ago, I said there was like a belt buckle there, and it really looked like a belt buckle. Like there was a line and a belt buckle and another line. And the area was very delineated as like kind of a square shape. But I noticed now that that's gone. So I don't know if in some timeline it turned into a belt because it was really developing in that direction. Or maybe it would have just easier for us to think that we didn't notice the belt than to not notice this. But it looks to me like this is definitely developing to look like those Gobekli Tepe and Karan Tepe ones. They got these creepy... Look at these creepy squiggly fingers. They're like... This one has 4 long fingers and then one finger that's like... But that's just... It looks a lot like that other. This one also... It has slightly different wiggles to the fingers, each one, but... And I feel like they weren't this long before. They were a little shorter. Like they looked a little more human-like, and they've gotten really long. And the belt buckle has kind of disappeared. And now it kind of looks like we might be developing something that looks like the Karan Tepe ones. Let me even see what this one says about it. It doesn't really say. The 4 hands Moai. Oh, this guy had 4 hands? One here and one there. Oh, I see what that is. Interesting. The 4 hands Moai. Okay, now I gotta look that up. The 4 hands Moai. A 4-handed Moai. Did we even know about that? The Moai with the 4 hands. All right, well, that's like some kind of creepy commercial on like MTV or something. Aku Aku Eclipse. 4-handed Moai. The only one known to have 4 hands is on a platform on private land, which we arranged to visit. So I guess they all just come on platforms now. The only known to have 4 hands. The arms come down at the sides, and the arms. So what? Okay, well, is it 4 or 2 arms? The arms come down at the sides, and the hands are carved in the front. Well, you can see 3 anyway. The bottom hand on the left is pretty much obscured by white material. Ooh, I do think I see a 4th one, but yeah, what does the back look like? Okay, that's a repair then right there. Okay, but the repair ends there. So that should be original material. That's weird because the back doesn't have, some of the other backs have like more stylistic stuff. This just looks kind of like a log. Huh. All right, so we have a moai with 4 hands. I'll put that in too. Come on, pen. Special meaning, what's that supposed to be? And tattoos on the back. I didn't see any tattoos, did you? Huh. Maybe they'll show up later. All right, where was I? Now, that's not what I had thought they were going to say about that business. Okay, there's that newer style one. Okay, there's a back of one that has a bunch of stuff. I have never seen this. There's a head on the back of the head. This is the same shape as the whole moai is. All right. I spent some time trying to see like what these fingers are doing. They are touching like a center circular type of thing. They might be moving in the direction of those other statues. What's interesting though is if you go on here, all right, here's Easter Island, but the Göbekli Tepe in them, those are like way over. They're over here somewhere. Let's see. Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe. There it is. All right, so that's Göbekli Tepe. So that's what it looks like. I was actually going to cover how it looked. So if you remember a while ago, they said, oh, they're planting trees and trying to ruin it. And all the trees looked new. This is actually pretty bizarre because I looked at this earlier on a Nefer site, not this one. And there was only 3. And that wasn't there and that wasn't there. Now I'm kind of wondering. Are we going to get to see the whole thing? Oh, this is weird. Because this one showed me the whole image when I first pulled this up. Okay, let's try something else. Okay. Oh, this is weird. I had one centered all beautifully in here. This one. And now you can't see. I just did this like a couple hours ago. Okay, here. Let's try this then. All right, so 1, 2, 3, but now there's this one over here. Dang, oh, it's changing like within the course of a couple hours again. All right, so wait, where was I? I was on Google Earth. Yes. All right, so the story before, They were, I guess they've just built this. It wasn't on, it's not on there yet. This was them building it, I think. There's that square and that square. Let's see. Like, yeah, okay. Okay, that's it. All right, I guess they're building it over some of their excavations. So what's weird about this, though, is, okay, this is from 2020, really? Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but it's from way back in 2020. So the last time I checked any information, they said, they're building trees on it. They're planting trees on it, and they haven't done anything for 5 years. But now, if you look at the story of these trees, they're saying that that it was built. Those trees were planted like in the 90s by some of the owners of the land who were trying to get more money for the land when they were going to pitch their offer to sell it. And so this is not now a new thing. But back then, I remember that there was just like one area of trees, and they were kind of hodgy-podgy. They just they weren't even grown up that much. And now you've got, I swear earlier today I looked and there was 3, but now there's 5 of them. And that certainly wasn't the case when I first heard of it. But like this whole structure here is weird to me, because I don't even remember it going like this in here. It was just the side of a hill. The whole thing was just on the side of a hill like this. And so this whole thing is like confusing me. I thought this whole thing was pretty steep. More like if it was here. This is a weird shaped area it's on now, actually. I wonder if this is going to turn into some kind of a shape, actually. Because look at how just suddenly it's bizarre in here. Okay, so the whole thing is totally different for me. Now, these apparently happened in 2020, this whole structure thing. I don't think so. They built that. Let me get rid of the 4 hands guy. Where was I with that? No, that's a different one. All right, I give up. Maybe I got rid of that. So anyway, I think that's changed considerably. Well, it looks like there's more, like a really good road going up there, everything. So it's kind of weird because some of the narrative is still the same. Oh, they haven't done anything in 5 years. Well, how do you know what they're not doing something under here? Now you can't know. And even though they supposedly haven't done anything in 5 years, the site is way more excavated. Plus we have that Karan Tepe and all that showing up. And the belt is gone, and I guess we're getting man parts on these. I'd really rather not, thank you, but see, this one of the fingers goes up over something, and then the other creepy little fingers go down. I mean, what's up with those fingers? They're like way longer than before. Ah, Shari. Are you there? Let's see. I see. Yes. Okay, we've got something about the Kaaba coming up. Do you remember the Zamzam water? Vivian found this Zamzam water thing for the Kaaba. The name makes me laugh. There were no trees there. That's the first time you heard about planting trees. Ah, interesting. I don't even know if I had that on the show. I know I saw it with the trees, the drama with the trees, and it wasn't that long ago. Looks like more like they're hiding stuff. Well, that was the narrative, except for there's 5 batches of trees instead of 1, and that was only like 6 months ago I heard that, and there was only 1 batch of trees, and they were just planting them, and now these were there for like 20 years, and like, so the narrative is just all over the place. Okay, so creepy spider fingers. You know what's the other thing with these long fingers is, I guess in video games and stuff a lot, they like say something is evil, it's going to have these long creepy spider fingers, right? So it's just interesting to see the spider fingers sort of morph into these old statues. I have never seen any old statues with the spider fingers. The closest was those Moai, and they only had that for a few years, and now the finger's like way longer. So, okay, so this one I guess is the Karan. No, the Göbekli Tepe. They put this building in and this building in, but are they going to put one there or what? Here apparently is what's underneath there. So this is, I think, the area that I saw before, but this building was not over it. You know, just the out there, you know, I mean, like, I'm quite sure that this was not there on the old images. And that was like all the images you'd see of Göbekli Tepe. You didn't see all those weird humanoid ones, and it was just this. But I mean, it's very obvious that there is a strange structure out here, and the lighting is different because it's under the building now. So I mean, like, there's no way you wouldn't see all this crap. Come on, people. Okay, so that becomes one of those, oh, was a global religion if they had the spider finger pervs that are all the way, I swear they look so similar to me, all the way in Göbekli Tepe that never exists. And now there's the pervy statues on Easter Island that used to be completely different. Okay, so let's talk about the Hajj, shall we? Let's see. Does Shari remember the Zamzam water during the Hajj? You're supposed to drink the Zamzam water. Most of Göbekli is still uncovered. Yeah, but that area where I saw where they had all those tea statues, that was definitely uncovered last time I looked. And yet here it's been covered at least since 2020. Yeah, Vivian found the Zamzam water. I'm just curious if anybody else has heard about the Zamzam water. I swear I never heard of the Zamzam well until a couple weeks ago. So it's all into the history. Okay, so you remember Zamzam water. That's weird because I swear to God, the whole Hajj keeps changing, and the Zamzam well being there on next to the Kaaba and stuff. I don't remember any of that stuff. And I've been watching the Kaaba like grow too. It used to be shorter. It used to just be like barely taller than one man, and it just keeps getting, that's been like the last 8 years. It just like has anyone examined the water to see what it is composed of? The Zamzam water? There was some kind of Western source said they analyzed the water and it had an excessive amount of arsenic and chloride. And I'd say the arsenic might be more of a problem, but then the Muslim says, no, it doesn't. But I don't think it's really enough that, like, if you just drank it a few times in the Hajj, like, it'd be 3 times the recommended, but you're only drinking it a couple times. You're not going to drink it your whole life. So, I mean, it's not like your body cannot remove a certain amount of arsenic, because there's arsenic naturally all over the place. So small amounts of arsenic are actually natural. Ah, Shari. Yep, that's the story. Ibrahim kicked. Okay, so yeah, they were stuck in the desert and they had to go back and forth looking for water for seven trips. And then they kicked the ground and water came up. And that was the Zamzam well. And from then on, the 7 trips around the Kaaba signify this search for water. It's freaking me out though, because there's a bunch of stuff at the Hajj that I don't even recognize. But that's the story that you just gave. When the provisions ran out, Hagar ran back and forth 7 times between the 2 small hills of Safa and Marwa, searching for water. God responded to her faith and struggle with a miracle. Water began to gust from the ground near baby Ishmael's feet. This became the Zamzam well. That's the history of it. Okay, so there is the Kaaba, and now, I guess now for, like, they had all this stuff, and some of that's the Zamzam well, and then there's another thing there with some footprints, but some of it got moved. So there's, I guess now they have all this water. Everybody's got water running underneath now. It used to be like you were screwed if you were out in a lot of places because there weren't no water. But now even out in the desert, like you just have to dig really deep and then there's water. So there's the natural water table. There is, this is the Zamzam well. So the story now is that it was on the top for a long time, but they did a remodel and now the source is like, they put another level up here and the source is down there. But that they pipe this water all over the place and then you're supposed to drink it as part of the Hajj. So there's like all the amount of drinking consumption, 700,000 liters daily during off season and 2 million liters daily during surge season. Let's see. Minerals in Zamzam water offer several health benefits. Interesting. Okay, so they're saying it has fluoride. I don't think that's a health benefit personally. Calcium and magnesium, sodium and potassium. Nothing about arsenic. How is Zamzam different from Riyadh water? I mean, it looks like it's basically water. Let's see. Which one is Zamzam? All right. So what? It has more... Well, it does have, like, they're saying it has more nutrients anyway. So you can buy some of this stuff, I guess. Zamzam is transported in steel tankers to the Prophet's Mosque in Medina. Blah. Okay, this is just crazy for me. It is utterly crazy. I've been watching this stuff. Okay, so I think somebody was on not too long ago and they didn't remember this thingy being like with all these lights being so here. What the heck is that? Oh, that's the, weird. What the hell? I've never seen that before. It's not the architecture I would pick for flesh-colored tops of the building anyways. What in the hell? Okay. I had another reason why I had this saved, but I don't think that was it. I hope the algorithms don't come after me. Okay, so it was this thing. So the Zamzam well is somewhere near this thing, but it is not this thing. And it says I don't know why. I thought it was Ibrahim, but it's a lot of places are calling it Abraham statue. So it's like a shrine, I think, to this Abraham person. So supposedly the footprints of 2 of the people, like 2 of the, was it just 2? There's 2 footprints. I think it's 2 people sank into the stone, and that's what this is. And it's near where the well is, but this is actually not the well itself. But this thing, it seems like that's still there. So, and I've never seen that, but now I'm trying to like find it. Because that was part of the confusion for me. It's like, well, is that the marker of the well? No. And it's still in the way. Yes. Okay, we already looked at that one. See, it's that thing. So apparently then they had these footprint things, but they were getting worn away by everybody touching them, like bajillion people touching them. So they carted away the footprint things for protection, and they put this like shrine thing up instead. Of course, that's logical, but that all happened long ago in this timeline. Long ago. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Huh. Vector. Okay, I don't know what that is. It's not what I meant to look for. So, of course, I'm sitting here trying to find that Abraham statue thingy. And it's right here. Alright. I found it. Sort of found it. Wait, it's gone again. Arr. Right, there's the door. So, if I remember correctly, it's a little bit in front of the door. No, I'm back there, am I? Alright, let's go back here. Okay, there's the door, and there's the shrine. But I just don't remember there even being any kind of gold shrine, but this thing has been there a long time, and before that was other structures. I also don't remember being there. All right, here we go. There it is again. It's in front of the door. Yeah, I just that one is new for me. That so like the well, okay, you know, you can't currently see it, so maybe I didn't know about it. I don't think so, but it's possible. And here's the other thing that I've seen time and again, is that these things that start underground or just out of sight pop into visual zone eventually. Like the heart thing that was on that one statue that goes like this. It was on the inside, and you could only see it if you were going up the ladder inside, and then they're like, oh, this is like a hidden nugget, you know, a hidden gem for few people know about it. But then eventually it popped out and it was on the outside. So the well is supposedly hidden. I swear it was never there before, but the well was supposedly hidden many years ago because they redid this walk area. And so it's underground, but there just happens to be this other shrine doodah that's right near where the well is, but isn't the well. And I'm very suspicious that this is like the beginning of that well showing up on the above ground, or something showing up. What is this now? Yeah, see, like, where's the... Is that even... So, like, I see that, and I'm like, well, where's that shrine thingy? There's the door. Where'd it go? Oh, that's AI. That's why. Ugh, freaking AI. Is this AI? You can't trust anything anymore. I've never seen it green. Is it AI? I've never seen them use green to cover it. 3D render. See how irritating that is. There's the thingy. Okay, there's the door. There's the thingy. The shrine. So it's kind of not, you know, it's not that far away. I just don't see how it goes unseen so often. Especially because when I first started looking at this, there weren't so many people and it wasn't so big. And that was only like 5 years ago. So there would be like that many people, not like this many plus a bunch of levels. God, it's right there. You know, when it's weird because it's all out of focus and blurry. These guys are all in focus. It's like it landed from outer space. My mom used to always say that when something looked out of place and didn't fit into its surroundings. She said, it looks like it landed from outer space. And I never used to use that term until the Mandela, and now it fits. Isn't the golden thing? No, you know, unless it moved, because the holy black rocks thingies used to be on this. It looked kind of like a silver toilet bowl. I'm sorry if this is super rude to anybody's religion, but that's what it looks like. Like there's the shiny metal thing that was kind of like, okay, let's see. Where's the Kaaba black stone? Let me see if I can find it. And it was on the walls of the Kaaba. Like one wall in the corner there. See, you can see why I said that. It looks like, you know, it looks like a little bit, it's changed a little. That has changed a little. Okay, so the black stone is in there in multiple pieces. And this is the walls of the Kaaba here. Yikes. Oh, it's not, it's looking less black. Up. See, there it is. That's fairly helpful. I think that is an actual rendition. It's hard to tell anymore. That's interesting because I think the shape of this has gotten, like, bigger. Alright, so that's the black stone. Now, only a few years ago, all the videos would show everybody just, you know, coming by and touching it. But now it looks like the area's been fairly roped off for a really long time. But it wasn't that long ago, that many timelines, that people would peer in. I mean, it's fairly well protected because unless things have changed, to my knowledge, this is not actually the stone. You know, it looks like it's... Okay, so the stone is in here. I remember there being like a glass cover on this, so this is actually kind of looking weird to me. There was a glass cover and the stone was behind the cover. All right, let's look up the black stone and see what's going on. There was a story about it breaking apart into like 8 pieces, I believe. And then they put them all in behind that metal thingy. Small shrine with a great mosque, probably dating from pre-Islamic religion of Arabs. 3 large pieces and some fragments surrounded by a stone ring and held together with a silver band. Surrounded by a stone ring. Yeah, but the pieces were, I mean, like, what's all that red stuff? According to tradition, this stone was given to Adam on his expulsion from paradise. Dang, that's not the story I remember. Legend has it that the stone was originally white but has become black by absorbing the sins of countless pilgrims. I do remember that part. I swear that thing had glass over it. How come it doesn't there? Where did the black stone come from? Okay, and that story is from a hadith. So it was like said by a holy person, basically. So it's, I guess it's not in text or anything. There used to be some guess is that maybe it was like a volcanic, like a meteor fragments. Yeah, this is weird because it looks. What is that red stuff then? So these were the stone. You know what? That's definitely looking different to me. It's interesting. Seen through a portal, yes. Fragmented dark rock. Okay, I do remember this. Oh, that looks like there's more. Oh, there's more pieces. There was like 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. That's not right. 8 pieces. So now they're saying 3 big pieces and some fragments. All right, so it's got more pieces. Are made up of smaller pieces that have been combined to form the 7 or 8 fragments visible today. Except for that it's not showing 7 or 8 fragments. Okay, that's what it appeared to be in the 1850s. Okay, that story has changed. The silver framer on the black stone and the black kiswa or cloth enveloping the Kaaba were... Okay, so it has a silver frame. We know that. The frames are periodically replaced. Huh. I have not heard of that. The black stone was described by early travelers. It is an irregular oval, about 7 inches in diameter. Dang, that's not that big. With an undulating surface composed of about a dozen smaller stones of different sizes. Well joined together with a small quantity of cement and perfectly well smooth. Worn by a million touches. What's that red stuff though? Let's see. It took a close cement of pitch and gravel. Okay, so he's saying that the cement is like pitch and gravel, which is that color. So that's the stone. The cement is the story. There's something real fishy about this. I think that's changed. Interesting. All right, so there's not glass now. That's very interesting to me. So if they use some kind of resin pitch thing, then it could be red. But I agree, it's a little vague on there. So the cement is kind of used loosely there. It's more like I would say it's more like a natural asphalt kind of a thing, you know, that... Who the heck knows, though? They're not very clear on what that is. You'd think that that would be, like, right there. Everything interesting about the black stone. But it is always golden, black, never another. Oh, yeah. See, I was wondering about that green, because I'm like, I've never seen a green, but that might be AI. Okay. Okay, so anyway, the point is that the shrine, that gold shrine is not the black stone, because the black stone is still on the side of the Kaaba. So that shrine is another thing. And then we've got the well brewing underneath with the Zamzam water. So okay, so here, I think that might be the well. See, it's confusing because there's a well and there's the shrine, and they're near each other, but they're not the same thing. You know, this might be after the well was put underground, and this might be the shrine, because I guess they've changed the shrine a number of times because it's been around a long time, the shrine plan. I think that's the current version. After you do your 7 circles and prayers, then you should drink from the Zamzam well. But apparently they have drinking fountains all around, so that's how you drink from it now. It's interesting that they say that, but then they show this is see, they call it Abraham, the shrine to Abraham. Okay, which houses the footprint of Prophet Abraham. Anyway, that's changed a lot for me. Well, those extra parts, I just don't remember them. The Zamzam water storyline and the shrine. So Vivian found that good find. So it sounds like you can buy that Zamzam water too from like other places. I think it's the other thing I think interesting is that they say the well suddenly appeared miraculously back then. I feel it appeared miraculously, just not that far back. Okay, so these things, I feel bad because I think, was that you, Jackie, who got this click beetle thing? I was just scribbling this down and I didn't write who it was. That was you, right? I think I got distracted by something. This thing is so creepy. Did I have it? I think I've had it on before, but I didn't have video of it. So there's this bug. Now, it looks like eyes, but apparently the actual eyes are up there somewhere, and these are just circles that just happen to look like eyes. And you can see it's a pretty big beetle because it's bigger than this guy's finger. And when you poke it, let me take the sound off. Boink. When you poke it, it just starts glowing with its fake eyes. That's it's just trying to scare people or what? I don't know. Or I guess it's working. If you said, what's this beetle? And it went, woo, I think it would work. So apparently these click beetles are super common in like Costa Rica and stuff. And it's a bright looking thing. Poke. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This timeline has got a lot of interesting things in it. Well, like people have hypothesized that maybe it was like an asteroid or a meteor or something, but I don't know. There's not any. I don't find any information. It looks like at the current reality, it's been around since before there's any history to explain it. Like it's just been around forever before there's any written storylines. Everything written, it was already there. So that might be an interesting story to see how that. I have a feeling that that's going to keep developing. There is no religious ritual in the world that doesn't look utterly baffling to me. Well, when you think about it, that walking around the Kaaba thing definitely is not the weirdest ritual in town, because first of all, there's kind of a story behind it. Okay, this just symbolizes this hunt for water. Okay. And then you got this really mysterious artifact, black rock thing. So, like, okay, it's like good luck or something. I mean, that's not the exact story, but it isn't that weird. People were trying to bite pieces from the stone, and that's why they protected it. There's always going to be a few people that cause trouble for everybody. I thought the glass... I don't think there's any glass right now. I don't know. Like, I'm confused because I don't see any glass. I just see the pitch. The idiots broke their teeth by doing this. Okay. The Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, I've wondered about that. You gotta wonder. It was not broken. It was just one piece. That's interesting. We obviously come from the you of this you is from a different timeline than the you that was with me before, because it was 8 pieces. But from me, it just broke into 8 pieces. It didn't break into a bajillion pieces and then got smashed back to 8. That was not it. It was 8 pieces. I looked for the history of it last time, and they had like, oh, it showed up in blah blah century, and maybe it was a meteor, and there wasn't that whole Zamzam water story at all. That wasn't there. And yeah, and the story that it was given as a farewell gift to Adam, that was not there. Yeah, see, that was not there. Let's look that again. Hold on. And there wasn't, like, that adds in with the Christian business, which is extra bizarre, because although I do know that a lot of the Christian beliefs are sort of in the Quran, I mean, you don't see that come up very much, other than by, like, nerdy people who, like, want to spit out that factoid. But, like, it doesn't really seem that the Christian side or the Arabic side, the majority of them aren't really big on pointing out commonalities between the two religions. Yeah, it just says cemented together, huh? Its exposed face measures 20 by 16 centimeters. It's exposed face. Is that, I mean, what does that mean? The exposed face of the stone with the... it sounds like there's no glass. I swear to God, there was glass before. It was behind glass. All right, so some traditions attribute its origin to Adam, the first human, who is said to have received it from heaven after his descent to earth. Other accounts state that the angel Gabriel delivered the stone to Prophet Ibrahim during the construction of the Kaaba, which was originally built by Ibrahim and his son Ismail. The stone was reportedly set into the Kaaba's wall by Prophet Muhammad in 605 CE, 5 years before his prophethood, during a dispute among the clans of Mecca over who should place it back after reconstruction. All right. Well, that's the AI. Do we really trust the AI? Because it's kind of stupid, especially that AI. All right. So it seems somewhat agreed on that it was set into the stone in 605. Or set into the wall in 605. Its original size is unclear. The pieces have been rearranged in their cement matrix on several occasions. One observer described it as being 18 inches long. By the early 17th century, it was recorded as measuring 4 foot 7 inches by 4 foot. It looks a little bit large to me. So what is it, 3 or 4 feet now? That does not look like the size of the thing we're seeing now on the side of the wall. I'm trying to see where it says about that Adam thing. All right. One tradition holds that the black stone was placed by Adam in the original Kaaba. Adam's altar and the stone were said to have been lost during the Great Flood and forgotten. I don't even remember any story of Adam having a Kaaba. Abraham was said to have later found the black stone at the original site of Adam's altar when the angel Gabriel revealed it to him. Abraham ordered his son Ishmael to build a new temple, the Kaaba, on which the stone was to be embedded. Another tradition says Blackstone was originally an angel that had been placed by God in the Garden of Eden to guard Adam. The angel was absent when Adam ate the forbidden fruit and was punished by being turned into the black stone. God granted it the power of speech and placed it at the top of Abu Qubais, a mountain in the historic region of Khorasan. Quit that. Before moving the mountain to Mecca. When Abraham took the black stone from Abu Qubais to build the Kaaba, the mountain asked him to intercede with God so that it would not be returned to Khorasan, but would stay in Mecca. Another tradition holds that it was brought down to earth by an angel from heaven. Okay. That actually sounds a little more possible because of some kind of meteor thing. Alright, well, it looks like there's a bajillion, let's see. Never been analyzed. Described variously as basalt and agate or piece of natural glass. Alright, so we don't even really know what it looks like. Interesting. I've literally just heard like 15 different renditions of where the black stone came from, which I don't remember any of. I thought it used to just be like nobody really knows where it came from. Curry powder was invented by us. Who knew? What? Australia invented curry powder? I thought that was like India. Oh, yeah, by Indians. Okay. By Indians. But by British colonists? No way. I'm very suspicious of that. Wait. Who invented curry? Well, maybe the natives like ate it differently. I mean, because I don't see how colonists went and said, hey, what's this plant that you never eat? It's delicious. Developed by British colonies. Curry is an anglicized version of the Tamil word curry, which means sauce or gravy. Yeah, but isn't there a specific powder? It was adopted by British during their colonial rule in India. It was adopted by British, who use it as a broad, simplified label for a wide variety of spiced dishes. Okay, who invented curry powder, I guess is the question. It was invented to replicate Indian curry flavors using a standardized spice blend for convenience in home cooking. Wait, I thought curry powder was a specific plant, wasn't it? Oh, I guess not. Now I'm confused. Okay, so I guess the story then is that people in India would use this and that spice, and the British merchants are like, just give me like the standard mix, and then they just figured out kind of a standard mix that probably some people in India were using, and they just sort of standardized it and said this much of this and this much of that yields kind of a standard flavor. So they didn't really invent the mix, they kind of standardized it. My friend insisted it was British and was adopted for Indian cuisine. See, I didn't read it that way. I read it that it was an Indian cuisine, and then the British standardized it. Invented. So I wouldn't say invented, because they basically took something that was there and just kind of wrote it down based on flavors in India. Formalized spice blends known as curry powders to recreate their favorite dishes consistently in the absence of an Indian cook who could just make it for you. Okay. That would make some sense. I wouldn't say they invented it, though. That's not the term I would use, but maybe a couple more shifts they will have invented it, because we're always in backwards land, it seems like. Everything that, like, the India thought they invented, it turns out someone else invented it. And then stuff you thought these guys invented, you'll find out that some dude in India invented. It's just like how it goes now, I swear. Sorry, but British can't cook. They can't invent edible stuff. You know, I love you UK guys, but your food taste is just not compatible with mine. So I have this UK friend, and he doesn't like to add spices to anything. He's just like a slab of meat and like maybe a pinch of salt, maybe. Don't want no sauces, don't want no nothing. And that's how he likes his meat. And maybe if you grow up with it like that, fine, but one thing he does, we both agree on, is what makes good French fries, though. We do agree on that. All right, I was going to do that. Curry. I'm not going to say that they invented curry yet. What time is it? 1:35. Maybe I'll do some of the old. I will do some of these. Did I do this one where the crocodile newt? So we already had a frog that would like jut its rib bones out, I believe it was. Like if it's threatened, it will stick its ribs out its skin and like then have like an armored, I don't know. How would Darwin explain something like that? Well, apparently now there's also this crocodile newt that also does something like that. When threatened, it adopts an anti-predator posture. It alternately flattens and curls up, throws its arms and tail out, and pierces the sides of its body with its sharp rib tips. So now we have this other beast that sticks out its sharpy ribs and pokes people or something. Interestingly, I don't see like the bleeding rib hide of the pierced ones. Did they not want to do that? Other salamander species use the same self-skewering defense strategy, notably the Iberian ribbed newt and the emperor newt. So there's just a thing now, like you can just stick out your sharpie ribs. It just kind of seems weird to me, like I'm just gonna poke 10 holes in my side in order to protect myself. I mean, they have some kind of magical skin along there that's not 10 holes stabbed all the way down into their ribs, but I just don't see how that's like a really useful strategy. You could just you know, say grow some spines or something. All right, so rib poking out in crocodile newt. All right, so I got that one. I haven't done these in eons. Did I do this shaggy bear? There's like a new. Is this going to be a bear or a subspecies of bear? I have not seen this kind of bear before. They're saying it's a subspecies. There are only 31 bears that exist in the world. I have a feeling we'll get more of these. It looks very unique. I've done bears before, and I've never heard of Mandela brown bear. It really doesn't look like a normal brown bear. Mandela brown bear. Let me do a quickie check on these guys. It's been like a couple months since I looked at these. I'm wondering if they're going to stop being a subspecies and be a species. Subspecies of brown bear found in the Gobi Desert. Rarest bear subspecies with only 31 individuals. Uniquely adapted to survive in the harshest desert environments on Earth. Yeah, it seems kind of weird to have a bear in the desert. Small size, only 78 kilograms. So that's 100. That's only like 200-ish pounds. I guess it's small for a bear. They're adapted to survive in the desert. It doesn't look right, does it? You think you're in the desert, you're not going to have to deal with bears. Where is it going to get food? There's like nothing to eat in the desert. And you're not even fast. You know, normally the coyotes and stuff, they can travel long distances quickly. That one didn't make it. I have a feeling they'll continue to develop, though. All right, I'm assuming that they just darted that one and it will recover. Yeah, see, they do look pretty tiny, don't they? I mean, you have a brown bear that's only 200 pounds. That is definitely a subspecies. Desert bear. Yeah. We have bears here less than 2 hours from you. Well, I know like up north and then east there's black bears. But that's in the forest, so right next to Arrowhead. I know, but there's a ton of trees and stuff. There's food and things, water. The Brady Kids cartoon. I think they talked about that as maybe a Mandela on Reddit. I have not heard of it, though. Except for, I think I heard of it, like, in the last month or so. How's my urchin spines going? So, the ones that kept magically spilling, I've cleaned that whole area, so they can't magically spill anymore. And then I ran out of them. And then the company that I got them from suddenly closed. And when I went to their website, it says we're no longer taking orders. And I tried emailing them to see if there's any way I could somehow directly get those tiger spines. And the email just bounced back. So I said, I am SOL on the spines. And then I went to this other site that I go to all the time for years and years and years. And I had checked them many times for tiger urchin spines, and there was none. And then I just literally the next day, speaking of synchronicities, because you got to understand, I've been hunting for alternate sources of these for years. I show up there, given up completely on ever seeing another urchin spine. tiger urchin spine. And there on the front of the page, you know how they have like the website, I'll just randomly spit up suggestions, and it just randomly spit up like, what about this listing? And it spit it up, and it was tiger urchin spine. But they had a different name for them. They called them like fire urchin spines or something. So maybe that's why I never found them. But it's just weird because I have went on there and actually just looked up urchin spines, like any urchin spines, because I was just trying to see, hey, is there any cool urchin spines? I have checked many times, and they weren't on there. But now they have them right after that other one disappeared. So after years of not having them, and if I did get them, they'd be a bag of janky ones with only a few good ones. These guys had them, and I ordered like 50 bags of them. They weren't even expensive, and they came in, and they're great. I now have a giant stash. I should go and just order more. I should order every last one that they have, because they're not even charging that much. So yes, I did get them. That was actually a pretty good haul. Watch today about bioengineered food on the rise. Wasn't there something about how they were putting bioengineered meat in the soup cans or something? You get your answer in a YouTube videos. Yeah, I know. And sometimes you're just like thinking about it. Like, for instance, if I said something in my truck from 2015, and it shouldn't have any wired connection to anything. And, you know, my phone right now does not contact the internet. There's some kind of problem with it. So, like, I don't see how it would be spying on me. But yet, even just talking about it in the truck is enough for stuff to show up. So, it just... urchin. I hate the clothing they make with recycling plastic. Which clothing is that? All I can tell you is most clothing now is like thin and cheap, and it looks crappy on you. Like, if you were in a really hot country, maybe you'd want to wear that thin, cheap stuff. But it's really hard to find any fabric that isn't thin and cheap. I feel like I'm going to have to, like, fly to India or something and get some decent fabric and stuff made. If you want to see good clothes ever again. Yeah, well, the vegetables, they're putting that appeal on the outside, and they're awful. Okay, so let's see. Did they or did they not? All right, that's that. Let me get that straightened out. Lab-grown meat, that's what it was. Lab-grown meat. Soup. It might have been that they were sneakily interviewing, like, some upper crusty dude said something. Yeah, Campbell's Soup dude said something. Let's see. Denied using lab-grown or 3D printed in his soups following leaked audio recording of a former exec making such claims. The company confirmed that its soups are made with real chicken, not using any form of bioengineered meat. It does use GM crops like corn and soybeans. Florida Attorney General has launched an investigation into the allegations, citing Florida's law banning lab-grown meats. Well, Campbell has put the involved executive on leave and reiterated his commitment to real ingredients. Okay, that's weird. I haven't seen that. So one guy claimed they use lab-grown meat. I think one question I have to ask is, last I checked, lab-grown meat was more expensive than normal meat. So as long as that's still the case, I don't see them doing that. But if that's changed, well, I wouldn't put it past them. Martin Bay, a former IT vice president, criticized the company's use of bioengineered meat and said he did not want to eat chicken from a 3D printer. Okay. So he might be right, or he might have just been a ding-dong who got confused about GM corn and thought it was GM meat. I could totally see that, too. Especially in the current era when people are, I don't know, they have bad memories. I hate to say it, but it's just, it's like you tell somebody something and 5 seconds later they've already mangled the story and in egregious ways. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was just wrong. It'll be interesting to see how that spins out. Europe is strict in what they can put in foodstuffs, assuming that they can be trusted to do what they're supposed to do anyway. People think food synthesizers exist. Well, you can grow lab-grown meat, and then they 3D print it into like a shape that looks like whatever, like its simulated shape. They do have those. Oh yeah, the gluing of the pieces. That's true. There's different things they can do. Yeah, they can also, like, they can get scrap corners and like glue it so that it's all back together. So, like, say you don't have a full steak, but you can glue like little pieces together and it'll look like a steak. So it maybe that's what they meant. You know, it could mean that they got all different. They did a bunch of fuzzy, weird stuff like that, but it also did somehow come from a chicken. And there's a lot of weird stuff they can do. Like, they can use the pink slime, and they can call that beef. So oh yeah, we use nothing but real beef, and it's like pink slime. So there's probably loopholes like that with chicken, too, where they can say, oh, this is chicken. But it's like, Soylent, yeah, seriously. Like simulated food in a simulation. Okay, so we got weird bears. This thing, the Japanese sarau. Have you ever heard of the Japanese sarau? I think I found a whole bunch of animals on one. So there's like this big sarau. I really should, if I can get some time, I need to go and catch up on all your comments. I will get it caught up eventually. I'm still like a week behind. What is this thing? It's the Japanese sarau. Lives in the wooded mountains of central and southern Japan. Staring down at the landscape for extended periods, likely watching for predators. What even is it? Looks like a wolf-deer hybrid. Japanese sarau. I'm gonna have to look it up. So, you know, this chit-chat about the fake meat in the media, though, I feel like it's probably going to be some kind of foreshadow of another story that comes down the chute. Goat antelope. Okay, it's a goat antelope. An even-toed ungulate. I don't know if I would have even guessed that. It doesn't seem like it has, like... It seems like its middle is short and its legs are long or something. The ear, I don't know. What even is it? 32 inches tall. Oh, it's not that high. It's just like... halfway up. Hunted to near extinction. Yeah. So I think it's new. Oh, these are cool. Is it going to get pretty colors? It looks like this one's got red on the top. Looks like a dog-deer combo. I feel like it's going to go and then wag its tail. Ghostly. Adult lays down to rest. That one doesn't have red. That's weird. So it's gonna put its feet down all strange. Okay. I guess, yeah, it has hooves. All right. It has hooves. That's why. It doesn't really look like it has hooves, but then it does. All right. That's a hoo. It's an ungulate. All right. Well, they have like a million. What is this? There's like a weird thing right there that has it. It must going to get those weird inflating lower eye areas like some of the other ones do. Looks like it, because there's like weird things here. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, look right there. There's one there and one there. There's something weird going on where that. All right, let's see. Does this one have the weird? Yeah, there is something there. I don't see him moving. But there is lumps there, so I expect we'll see eventually that'll show up and there'll be weird videos. The pizza button, let's see. I know. It's a dog goat. Alright. More Sarah. Maybe I should do a quick gander. Just kind of looking at this. Wait. Looks like these lakes are just getting bigger or something. I mean, that lake plus that lake is like 2/3 the size of the Mediterranean now. And here, these I think are wider and longer. Again, they're almost the same amount of water as in the Mediterranean, so it's pretty impressive. Let's see. Do I see anything else screaming? This nub here, it's going around the corner. Yeah, see, that's something. All right. This did go in and around, but it didn't used to go in and around with the help of a big horn over here. So that's how this is keeping the shape, by growing a horn. Madagascar's huge. What was somebody showing me the other day? Okay, I don't see anything else I really want to cover. That horn starts out as a bit of a lump. It keeps growing. What, this thing here? Or the ones up here? Yeah, I know that. This is interesting because it gets foggy, but I'm not getting the clouds anymore. Look, I can go out that far. There's no clouds. That's interesting. Does that mean it's going to stop shifting around a bit now? I've never been able to go out this far without clouds. The shadow here is very fat, but... Oh, look at that. Antarctica is almost as big as South America? That's it. I thought Antarctica was going to disappear like Arctica, but it's actually expanding in size, at least compared to the other ones. Yeah, when's the last time I've been able to scroll out this far? I think even the last time it had more white shadow sooner than it is today. Oh, this is interesting. So, you know, these scrapey lines, they keep saying, oh, well, that's because those are areas where they've mapped, and they map in a straight line, and so then you show the mapped areas. But this straight line, I don't think this is a mapped area here. That's just a very, very straight, very strangely straight ridge of higher ground. Well, it looks like, I remember, 8 or 9 years ago when these islands were just showing up, and somebody figured out that the ground, like here, that's just subsurface, they call them seamounts, and I still remember that. She comes to me, she goes, they're calling them seamounts. And I'm like, seamounts. And every day now, there's more seamounts. I hear the cat. Let's see, what's this thing? More seamounts. We have this. What is this thing? It looks like that's... I think that's still breakwaters. Oh, no, wait. Hold on. That's really confusing, guys. Is it like just under the water? Here, this one's picked out. Okay. This one's come up. What did they do? Build some kind of building here? It's like completely square. What is this thing? Oh, they must have built some kind of big fort on here or something. Alright, let me let the cat in. Alright, Kato. Come on in. Oh, it's you. It's Kitty. You have to show yourself to the listeners. This is the troublemaker right here. Alright. She's so chill now. Huh. This is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this thing before. Alright, so there's some land. What even is that? Lihue. Yeah, I am pretty sure that wasn't there before. This. I think this is new. Whatever it is. Is there any way to figure out what that is? I mean, there's a fort there or something. I'm pretty sure that's a fort. You gonna tell me what that is? It's not you. I'll have to try to go to a regular map and see if I can sort that out. Yeah, that is new. Lihue, Puai. I think we had that last. We saw this thing last time. That thing, I think, got bigger. Yeah, but not this. Alright, what's out here? We have this. Interesting. Alright, so we're getting these circular contraptions that we saw in other parts of the Pacific are showing up here in Hawaii now. This one, then there's that one. Even that tiny one is circular. Like, meaning it's a circular and there's like a water in the middle. Looks like this will be all water here. Why is there a square there? Okay. So I'm assuming these are going to be old volcanoes. That's some weird business. Okay. This scroll thing is kind of weird because sometimes when I scroll it goes opposite. So if you see it's weirdly going a direction, you don't think I should do. That's why. I don't think I've ever seen this either. What is going on with this? This is kind of weird. Green lakes. Huh. That looks like a singular celled organism or something. I don't think it's done growing. Look, you can't even... There's no... I mean, are they hiding it, or is it not done growing? Oh, there's a lot of these coming in. We got that one, then there's this one. Okay. None of them have a name. This one has a name. No? Okay. Midway Atoll. Okay. I mean, I've definitely heard of Midway Atoll, but I guess I've never seen it there. I guess I just thought it was some rocks, you know, not like a whole island thing. I have to keep my eye on that. Okay, so this whole string attached to Hawaii is coming along then. So we've got some here, some there, this one. These are all, that was the Midway. This one's coming in, and it's these circle things. Sand Island Wildlife Sanctuary. It's got a runway on it. Doesn't look like it's been used much. Alright, all of those are coming in. So there's going to be a track all the way over here then. There's be like 10 million little islands out there. So, you know, I haven't seen the black one in a while, actually, now that you mention it. I'm going to have to ask that neighbors what's up with that black one. The cat, I mean. Well, I mean, the clouds weren't supposed to be the current clouds on the Earth. They were simulated, but it was really obnoxious because you couldn't scroll out and get a feel for the overall outlines of the continents for a long time now. And I felt that that was hiding some of the shifts because you just couldn't notice things so easily. And now it's gone. So let's see. I did have a personal ME too. That was, I believe it was yesterday. So quite some time ago, I think I said that the map function on my truck had changed. And for a while there was like this green line that depicted the highways. And then another guy said, hey, I don't remember the green. But then shortly after that, the green was gone again. And it's been gone for like a couple months. So every time I look at my map function, I'm like, you know, that time it was green. That time it was green. Well, yesterday, it was green again. The highway had the green lines again. So it was just, I don't know, it was pretty weird. So for months, there was no... So I drive by this same highway all the time. I don't always get on it, but it's in view on the screen. And so now the highway has green again. And again, that 2015 vehicle is not supposed to ever get any updates on the computer system ever. And indeed, restaurants that have been shut down for 10 years still show on there as being still there. So gray silver cats. Yeah, there's a lot of them around here. I think one of the several of the parents were gray silver, and they just there's a lot of gray silver cats. So I have one at home, and that's the one you saw before. And then this is the one that was feral, but you could see how chill out she is. She's actually more chill than a lot of house cats. And then there's another darker tabby looking thing, and he's still pretty nervous, but I've made some progress with him. I think I might be able to show him to you guys if he shows up during one of the shows. I think he'll let me like hold him over here now. 3 Atlas. I think, didn't they say 3 Atlas split into 3 pieces now? That's the latest story. Or is that another one? 3I Atlas split into 3. I'm pretty sure it did. And 2, 3. I can't even keep up with all the weird. It's pretty technical. Oh, it's K1 Atlas. Oh, God. K1 Atlas split into 3? So it was Atlas that split into 3? Oh, Lord. All right, so 3I Atlas did it. I just saw that earlier. Splits into K1 Atlas. Splits into 3. All right, so 3I Atlas wrapped in a carbon dioxide cloud. That was 2 weeks ago. What's going on now? That doesn't really show what's up. All right, 3I Atlas update. News. Multiple tails, including a prominent ion tail. Have you ever heard of a comet having more than one tail? That's like a totally new one for me. Comets with multiple tails, including a prominent ion tail. So we have different kinds of tails now. We have ion tail. I think that's the anti-tail, right? The ion tail. The nucleus remains unresolved. New anomaly 4 days ago. The non-gravitational acceleration introduced a small course correction. What does that even mean? An extraordinary new anomaly. Let's see, what is this? Looks like it's a scientific journal too. I can't follow this. Non-gravitational acceleration introduced a small course correction of exactly the magnitude needed to bring the minimum distance of 3I Atlas from Jupiter to the value of Jupiter's hill radius. 3I Atlas would have missed the edge of the hill sphere otherwise. This suggests... I don't know. Okay, so it's basically saying non-gravitational acceleration, like it's self-generated then. Non-gravitational acceleration. Let's type that in. It's a fancy way of trying to make it sound scientific instead of woo, I think. All right, MSN is saying it. All right, I can't watch that. Wait, here. Like, as it passed near the sun, attracting global scientific attention. Oh, that's pretty weird. Okay, well, I don't know what would cause that. Mystery acceleration. Newsweek. Let me get some water really quick. That'll do. While passing around the sun. All right, so this guy's claiming it should have lost 10% of its mass in order to get this non-gravitational acceleration out of outgassing. That means we should see a dense cloud of gas around it in November and December. If we do not observe a dense cloud of gas around it in December, then the cometary evaporation is not explained by the non-gravitational acceleration. Experts are not convinced. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not a scientist on this stuff, so I can't even guess. Yeah, it's late, so I think it's time to say Happy Thanksgiving, all that. My voice is getting a little cracky. Yeah, they did say it had multiple tails. Let me just look at that. Last I checked, which I think was last week, was multiple tails. There was like one in front, which was the anti-tail. Complex unusual tails, multiple jets, and a prominent anti-tail. Yeah. Long anti-tail pointing, long ion tail pointing away from the sun, a shorter anti-tail towards the sun. So an anti-tail goes the opposite, it goes in front instead of behind. And several smaller jets with some images suggesting the anti-tail may consist of two sunward jets. So could be two anti-tails. Maybe. I don't even know what to say. Anti-tails, two anti-tails, two regular, three. It doesn't even have a number anymore. There's just some. Don't even ask how many. We haven't decided yet. Do we sit around thanking the universe for all these Mandela effects? I do sometimes, and other times I curse the universe. I think it'd be easier if, like, other people could see them. Yeah. What's an anti-tail? So they say that the sun, like, pulls on it, and then there's, like, a string of tail in the front. That was the story, anyway. Yeah, it's all nuts. Enjoy the show. That's exactly it. You know, the more things change magically, and then you start looking at them suspiciously, and the more that's happened, the more I looked at other stories I was told as a child, some of which have magically changed and never happened. But I realized a lot of them sound really stupid. Like, I just accepted them because I was a kid and the old people that knew everything said that's how it was, and you just had to accept it. But now I'm looking at it going, like, how does a 1,000,000-pound cloud float against gravity in the sky? You know, and I mean, it's not even that big a cloud. So how is it 1,000,000 pounds? You know, there's a whole freaking bunch of swimming pools of water up there all in one spot, and somehow they float. I don't know. It sounds stupid. It's not even 100 pounds. It's not 50 pounds. It's 1,000,000 pounds of water up there. And if you fly through it, you come wet like a swimming pool. Like you just went through a swimming pool. So if it's all with gas, then how come you get so wet? You know, I mean, it just, and I really look at it, I'm like, it sounds ridiculous. There's so many things like that. Yeah, well, how does the rain even happen? I mean, like, how does the water get up? Somehow all that water is scooped up and then thrown down. And don't get me started about giant ice balls. Like, how do they stay up there that long in order to turn into giant, monstrous ice balls? And they're just like, they say updrafts, but when the plane flies, any updraft that could keep juggling ice balls would kick the plane to the moon. Yet the planes don't get kicked to the moon. So it's all weird. It's hotter than the air. But what, you mean the cloud? But then when you go through it, it's not hot. You get wet and you're cold. So how is it hotter? You know, why did it, when you go through it, you should be so warm. The water should be so warm then. But yet when you go through the cloud, you're cold with cold water. So how did that work? When you really look at it, it's just weird. It's so weird. I mean, that's what they tell you. But when you really look at it, you're like, it just sounds like total bullcrap. And then if it keeps magically changing, it sounds even more like total bullcrap. It's new bullcrap now. It's kind of like when you travel, you know, you never really question why you do stuff until you run into somebody who doing it and they're doing some whole other thing. And then you're like, wait, why do we do that anyway? Why don't we do it this way, you know? And that's kind of how the Mandela is. You don't really question how things work until they start working a different way. And I'm like, wait, why did it? Why do I trust any of these ways? All right, anyways, happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Happy holidays. Hope you get a lot of good food. Think good thoughts, everybody. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.